As the Equipment Facilities Director of American Engineering, I am responsible for over 400 pieces of on-road and off. My phone and email are constantly reminding me of the issues this industry will have every day. In this industry, it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 100 jobs. You must be able to perform. Our team and our equipment must face the challenges of a tough environment and high production demands. I started with American Engineering 7 years ago as a field service superintendent. In that role, we were constantly repairing equipment due to the environment and production demands. In 2017, a machine that was 1 year old with only 1,500 hours on it needed an extensive repair that in normal applications wouldn't need to be performed for at least another 4,000 to 5,000 hours. I've been in this industry for over 30 years, from turning a wrench to where I am now. So I understand the loss of production and the labor as well. The pins and bushings from where the boom meets the stick and down to the bucket needed to be replaced. But not only that, would also need boring work completed. Between the cost of the parts, the machine work, and the labor, our cost was going to be over $30,000. I knew there had to be a solution in this reoccurring problem. We have a strong maintenance program that we perform every day, but that just wasn't enough. In some of the mining areas where I've worked, they had an auto-lube system that helped in their program, and I thought just maybe that could help us as well. An equipment rep that I knew recommended me to Mike over at Groeneveld. Mike came out to me and he explained the benefits of his automatic lubrication system. I convinced my executive at the time to invest in an automatic lubrication system that was just 1/3 of the cost that we just had. That machine today has just under 12,500 hours and has had 0 pin and bushing failures today. We've dramatically decreased our maintenance cost and also the time that my fuel and lube technicians need to perform at every machine every day. So when Mike at Groeneveld-BEKA invited me to share this testimony with all of you, I said, let's do it. Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, dude. Good to see you, man.
You too, man.
This is going to be a great day.
It is. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to really diving deep on some of the stuff that we went through from the very beginning, because I remember that day in 2017, after you were doing that line bore, how ticked off you were that you had to do it.
Well, why wouldn't I be? $30,000, not to mention everything else that goes along with it? Come on, man.
I know, and it was so preventable. That was the thing that really stuck out in my mind, is that once we showed you what an automatic lubrication system by Groeneveld-BEKA could do, you realized that could have been prevented, no problem.
Well, there had to be an answer to the issues. I mean, here in South Florida, you're surrounded by nothing but really fine sand, and you're always digging underwater. Our utility crews are underwater. We're 3 feet above the water line, man. Yep. So there had to be a solution.
Yep.
And together we found it.
That's amazing. And I remember, in the beginning, you were having to convince the executive team to buy into it, but the positive pressure that those lines create in the system by keeping it fully charged with grease kept the water out. And that was what got their attention. But then I remember, like no other fleet manager I've ever met, and at the time you were just, what, shop foreman or?
I was field service superintendent at the time. I mean, it was almost 7 years ago.
I remember you tearing down the machine, even when it wasn't broken, just to check the pins, and on the ones that weren't with auto lube, to show the difference to your executives. That was insane.
Everyone has seen the shortage of good, trained technicians, the supply issues, the consistent price increases, and even harder than ever to find quality equipment while your machine is down. For those reasons, in addition, adding an automatic lubrication system saves us time, money, and the frustration. When one machine shuts down or goes down, it could be a huge snowball effect to the rest of the job and the company. It will also damage customer relationships if it isn't fixed on time. One of the first things using these lubrication systems did for me was increase the longevity and the resale value of every equipment. I grew up on mines, different mine sites, coal, rock, gold, doesn't matter. These large pieces of equipment that are tens of millions of dollars that they spend on these things, they want them to last, 20, 30, 40 plus years on some of this, some of these large shovels. They spend a lot of money. They put an auto lube system on it, or they add their own lube and oil. Man.
Yeah.
Well, I can't afford it. Nobody can afford to have a guy babysitting one machine every day, all day. That's what we had to figure out.
If you think about even preventing one incident like that, which cost $30,000, and at the time our unit was less than a third of that.
That is correct.
Fully installed.
Fully installed at the time, yep.
Just for the insurance factor alone, if we saved that machine one more line bore, we potentially saved you $30,000, literally.
Yep.
When you put it on all of the machines and you're not seeing pin failures, it's hard to calculate how much savings that is.
Well, you can calculate. If you had this one at 1,500 hour failure, okay, I put the auto lube system on, cost a third, half, whatever.
It was less than a third.
You know?
Yeah.
So you got 30,000 at 15, the next one would have been at 3,000. So then you're at 30,000 again. So it had to make it through at least two cycles. So at 4,500 hours, if my math is correct, then it would have already paid for itself.
That's right.
And now we're talking over 12,000 hours.
Would you have even gotten 12,500 out of that machine if you had not put it on, even doing pins and bushings? Because overall wear on the actual boom and the stick and everything else starts to happen over time. Since then, you've been promoted throughout the company. You're now the executive that you were trying to convince back in the day.
Well, I mean, it's just, I've been around for so long and I wanted to prove it. You know, it's money up front. Not only is it the repair, but it's an additional cost. Nobody likes spending an additional cost unless you can prove it.
Yeah.
I begged them, give me one machine, just one. And if I'm wrong, I'll never say it again. I'll bust my rear end and make the money back, whatever it is they got to do. Well, they said, fine, we'll give you the one machine and we want you to prove it. So this machine at 1,500 hours, this is what I don't get, 1,500 hours, which normal people, if you work an 8-hour day, 5 days a week, okay, you're up to little over 2,000 hours in a year. So 1,500 hours, not even a 1-year-old machine. So once we put the auto lube system on, and once we did pins, bushings, bore work, the downtime.
How much did that cost?
$30,000. 30 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, today, you know it's going to be more.
Right.
It's going to be more, not to mention the frustration, it was almost a brand new machine, so now the guy, we had to bring in another machine. It might have been something that they didn't like, or then you had downtime. Plus you got trucking. We didn't even, I haven't even told you about the trucking.
Right.
Yes, we have our own lowboys. We have our own trucks.
Not everybody does.
Not everybody does.
Right.
So you got to figure in, okay, what's the cost to move it from A to B? Luckily enough, ours was down here in, close enough in South Florida. We have our own trucks, but you're still going to spend $2,500 at least.
Yeah, you got the parts, you got the machining, you've got the labor, you've got the transportation, you've got the downtime of a guy standing around, loss of production, and a rental machine. Yeah.
If you can find one.
Exactly, that's the hard part.
If you can find one.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of the things that this lubrication did for us was increase the longevity of each piece of equipment and the resale value. It's also saved us a lot of time with our fuel men, because a lot of our jobs are located all over South Florida, many miles apart. And in this traffic down here, it's a real pain. The second thing when you install one of these Groeneveld-BEKA systems is that you don't have to worry about, oh, is my machine getting greased? It's just one of those things you get to take off your plate at the end of the day. Not only did I have to not worry about how it's going to get installed, because they just took care of everything. I mean, from the time schedule, they let me know when they were going to come out. They just took care of it all. If I ever have a problem with one of these systems, which is very rare, I call up Groeneveld, and with their customer service, they either take care of it over the phone, or one of my technicians is on site on the phone with them, or they come out and train our guys as well. It's really easy. Now I have a peace of mind that all my equipment is being greased on time, every time.
Auto lube allows you to keep that stuff longer, so you have a longer cycle time. You have higher resale value in the end, and you have longevity, and you have, this is the biggest one, you have peace of mind. Well, you can't put a price on that.
No, you can't. And let's go back. I want to, you were talking about at the beginning of the auto loop system and how much I had to prove to the executives and the owner of the company to continue to put it on certain pieces of the equipment.
Right.
Okay, so what I did, as soon as we got done doing it, I kept track of the day and the hours we installed this sucker. And every 500 hours, me, personally, I didn't want anybody else going out there. I turned a wrench. I've been in this business for 30 years. We took the pins out, cleaned everything up. What wear marks is there on it? Is the chrome still in good shape? Is there any abnormal wear? Talk to the operator. Where are you at? What are you doing? Are you still digging in the, maybe you're digging a lake, maybe you're just slinging dirt. It doesn't matter. It does if you don't take care of your equipment. We greased it every day. Every day these guys are greasing it, and they know that the 4 main pins of any excavator are the 4 right there at the bucket. That's right. Where it's gonna be have the most wear. And down here, it's always underwater. So every 500 hours when I pull them out, I didn't see nothing, shove it back in. That machine now, from 1,500 hours, has what I say the other day, like 12,000, yeah, 13,000 hours. I mean, come on. And not one more pin and bushing since we've had it.
So have you met any contractors who haven't tried automatic lubrication and you had a conversation with them about it?
I try not to. I want to keep the secret to myself, to be 100% honest.
That's awesome.
It makes myself look better.
I totally get it.
I'm not trying to be greedy here, but the more longevity that I make my machines,
the more valuable you become.
That's just it, and the more value that American becomes. That's the key.
That's awesome.
Keeps all our people busy, keeps my guys happy, keeps our families happy, because we spend more time at work than we do with our family, unfortunately.
That's right. And having to grease a machine is one of those tasks that nobody likes to do manually. It's hard work.
One of the worst tasks any fuel man or lube technician has is manually greasing all your equipment. With Groeneveld-BEKA, you no longer have to worry about it. It's done every time. American Engineering has been in business for over 50 years, and we value our employees. They're like our family. Installing this lubrication system has definitely made their job a lot easier.
So when you're thinking about your fleet and you're in your office, you're not thinking about lubrication.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, okay, which excavators, is it gonna be this year?
And the contractors today are starting to understand in a way that they never did, because when I started in this business, I would tell a contractor about automatic lubrication. They'd never heard of it, right? And they would say, hey, my guys are doing a great job. Well, how many line bores did you do this year? And they'd cock their head and I'd say, can we talk to the guy that lubes your machine? Yeah, come on in. Hey buddy, how many points are on that thing? And he'd say, 12?
Don't know.
No, 21.
Yeah, but right.
So how many of them are you greasing?
If you hire an operator, do you want them, from a business standpoint, do you want them coming out and lubing the machine? No.
Right.
You want them laying pipe. You want them digging the ground. You want them lifting something. Whatever it is they're designed to do with that machine, that's their job. And that's the mentality of them.
Yeah, and you want them happy.
And you want them happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got decent equipment. Some of our stuff is a little bit older, anywhere between 6, 8 years old. And I've got brand new stuff.
Our relationship over the last 5 or so years has been great. We've gotten to know each other really well. We've helped solve a lot of issues that you had, but solving the issues that you have before they happen is where I think that we're really shining. And that's where we love being partners with companies like yours.
Absolutely. Who can forecast something that, if a machine goes down in 1,500 hours because of pins and bushings, and you want to catch a machine with just pins and bushings and not have to deal with the $3,000 per hole that you got to pay a machine shop to come out, set everything up, and do a line board. Luckily, we had our own line boring machine, but still, not everybody does. Some of our specialty equipment, you've also installed the Groeneveld system on our crusher and the soil stabilizer mixer that's sitting right over here.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of your Wirtkins, right?
This is a brand new machine that we just bought not too long ago.
That's awesome.
And that was the very first thing that we did. I wouldn't even let them take him out to the job site without putting that on there.
That's awesome. I love the location of that, because you can quickly see by the follower plate if it's full or how much it needs without even, it's nothing.
You got to make it somewhat idiot proof. sorry people, but between the operator, anybody walking by can sit there and say, hey, it's got grease in it, let's go.
Exactly, let's keep moving. Yeah, that's awesome. And so you've had no issues with this machine at all?
Nope.
That's great. We appreciate the continued business and the partnership. It's been absolutely amazing. And we love working with companies like yours. American has been so easy. I know so many of your inside guys for parts needs or questions or training. I've met a lot of your team, but growing with you, as I have in my company and you have in yours, has been pretty special.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that the customer service and everything that you guys have provided. Not to mention, you know, parts availability, it's easy to get parts. We're not down. If the machine does have an issue, whether it be, you know, the screens and the filters for the grease system, they do kind of, you got to replace it
Every
like
year,
anything.
yeah, you should, yeah.
You know, it's easy. We bought the kits from you guys to help repair it.
If you get a broken line or, yeah.
Nothing is perfect. It's gonna happen.
Sure.
So every single one of my technicians have got it.
Yeah, I love it, man. Bro, thank you for doing
Hey,
this today.
thanks for asking.
Yeah,
I appreciate
your
it.
time, man.
Truth is, Groeneveld-BEKA has been meeting our needs and solving our problems since day one and improved our availability throughout our fleet. Adding these automatic lube systems has given us a peace of mind, huge cost savings, and increased our company's bottom line.